we are jumping into one of the wildest stories in the Book of Judges. Seriously, it's a powerful cautionary tale about what happens when an entire society just completely loses its moral compass. And we're going to see it unfold through one family, a priest who's totally corrupt, and a tribe that goes rogue. This one sentence, it pops up again and again in this part of the book, and honestly, it is the absolute key to understanding everything that's about to happen. Think of it as the doctor's diagnosis for a nation just spiraling into chaos. We're about to see exactly what happens when this becomes everyone's personal philosophy. It's a total disaster. Now, when you hear the phrase, no king in Israel, you might think it just means they didn't have a guy on a throne. But it's actually way deeper than that. It means the people had collectively decided to unplug from God as their ultimate authority. That shared standard of right and wrong, gone. It was replaced by whatever you wanted, whatever was convenient for you. And that, right there, is where all the trouble begins. So where does a rot like this even start? Well, it starts small. It starts at the most basic level of society, the family. Let's dive into the bizarre story of a man named Micah who pretty much decided to build his own custom religion right in his house. Okay, so our story kicks off with a theft. A guy named Micah steals 1,100 pieces of silver from his own mother. And we're not talking about pocket change here. This is a huge sum of money. And the theft of this cash sets off one of the strangest, most contradictory chain of events you can imagine. Okay, just try to follow the logic here, because there isn't any. The son steals the money. The mom puts a curse on the thief. The son confesses, hey, mom, that was me. And then she blesses him. She then takes this stolen, cursed money and says she's dedicating it to God by hiring a silversmith to make a pagan idol. And to top it all off, Micah just makes his own son the priest of his new little shrine. They are literally just making it all up as they go. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the confusion. Micah genuinely believed he was doing something holy. He thought he was honoring God with this whole setup. It's a lot like when the Israelites built the golden calf at Mount Sinai. He was just doing what seemed right in his own eyes, completely ignoring the actual rules. It's the classic good intentions paving a really, really dangerous road. All right, so the moral decay has taken root in the family. Now we're going to see how it spreads, how it infects the religious leadership itself. A wandering priest from the tribe of Levi shows up, and, well, let's just say he's not exactly a shining example of faith. You really have to see the contrast here between what this priest should have been doing and what he was actually doing. Levites were specifically set apart to serve God in the central tabernacle, supported by the whole community. But this guy, he'd walked away from all that. He was basically an unemployed professional, treating his sacred calling like any other job, just looking for whoever would pay him. This is what it looks like when a holy institution becomes just another career path. And Micah sees this as a huge win. His thinking is basically, great, now I know God will be good to me because I hired an official Levite to be my priest. You see? He wasn't worried about genuine worship. He cared about the appearance of legitimacy. He thought that just by getting the right person on the payroll, he could buy himself a guaranteed blessing from God. It's a completely transactional faith. So we've gone from a mixed-up family to a corrupt priest, and now the problem just explodes onto the tribal level. The story shifts to the tribe of Dan, and we get to see how this personal moral rot leads straight to large-scale violence and a total rejection of faith. So, here's the deal with the tribe of Dan. They had failed to conquer the land God had originally given them. But instead of trusting God and doing the hard work, they decided to find an easier way. Their solution? Scout out a weaker target, steal everything they need, including a religion, and just take it by force. You can see their mindset right away when their spies first get to Micah's house. They ask the priest to inquire of God for them. But they're not looking for divine guidance, not at all. They're treating him like a fortune teller, like a magic 8-ball, just hoping for a good omen before they go on their raid. So later, when 600 Danite soldiers show up, they steal Micah's idols and then they make the priest a job offer he can't refuse. It is the most cynical pitch ever. They basically ask him, hey, what's better for your career, being a priest for one guy or for a whole tribe of Israel? And the priest, he's thrilled, a promotion. He grabs the stolen religious gear and ditches Micah without a second thought. His loyalty was for sale to the highest bidder. And what they did next was just brutal. This wasn't some righteous conquest. They went to the city of Laish, a place full of peaceful, unsuspecting people who were totally isolated, an easy target. The Danites slaughtered them, burned their city to the ground, and then renamed it after themselves. This wasn't God's will. It was just violent, selfish opportunism. And here is the most important piece of context. You have to remember that during this entire time, the one true, God-ordained center for worship for all of Israel was up and running in a place called Shiloh. That's where the Ark of the Covenant was. That's where the real priesthood was serving. It wasn't a secret. Everybody knew this. But did the Danites go there? No. In direct defiance of that, they set up their own little rival religious center. They installed Micah's stolen idol in their new city, and they made that corrupt Levite and his sons their priests. They created a totally illegitimate religious system that would actually last for generations. So let's pull all of this together. What we've just walked through is a perfect and pretty terrifying case study in moral collapse. It's a domino effect that shows just how quickly things can fall apart when the foundation is rotten. Think about it. It all started with one family's private spiritual confusion. That confusion was then validated by a corrupt religious leader who was just looking for a better gig. And that toxic combination gave an entire tribe the green light to abandon God's plan in favor of theft, violence, and full-blown idolatry. The private belief of, "I'll do what's right in my own eyes," led directly to a public societal catastrophe. And that leaves us with this big, timeless question, doesn't it? This story is a stark warning. When a culture decides to ditch a shared moral standard, when doing what's right in your own eyes becomes the new normal, what's left? What's the glue that holds anything together anymore? It's a question that was relevant thousands of years ago, and it's just as relevant for us today.